I've been thinking a lot about the upcoming Warhammer 40,000 live-action series featuring Henry Cavill, and I just have to share my thoughts. We're talking about a universe here that's captured the imaginations of so many people over the years, finally coming to the big screen. The lore of the Warhammer universe is so rich, dark, and complex that it feels almost sacred. There are tons of stories to tell, but it seems like some people involved in the production has a different thing in mind, and it looks like the live-action will never happen. Based from sources, Superman is not bending the knee to people who wants to alter the live adaptation. Honestly, changing it for a series could really mess with what makes Warhammer 40,000 special, and I really think we need to keep that lore intact. Fans should come first, because you are making a Warhammer TV adaptation, and who would be more interested about it at first but the fans who were invested in the Warhammer universe for years. The vibe of Warhammer 40,000 may not be for all, as it's this grimdark universe where hope is a rare commodity. The stakes are incredibly high, and it's all about survival in a galaxy filled with endless war. This isn't just some generic sci-fi setting, it's a deep exploration of despair, sacrifice, and the human condition. The sheer darkness is what makes the stories resonate so deeply with fans. I believe that if we start tinkering with that, it could turn into something that feels more like a standard action flick rather than the profound and often harrowing narratives we love. It's the struggle against overwhelming odds that pulls us in, and I honestly think that this essence should not be lost in a live-action series adaptation for Warhammer 40,000. Now, people might say that it would be good to alter the lore and create something new out of the Warhammer universe to pull a new audience, but I bet that every chapter in the Space Marine Corps will pull out in Earth's orbit and deploy Exterminatus. The fans will nuke the live action, and we have seen this happen recently. Just take, for example, the female custodes that was recently mocked by fans. Honestly, I really think that female custodes are not bad, but they are just poorly delivered and introduced to the community. No other words can describe it, but only shocking, because correct me if I'm wrong, but fans have been calling each other as battle brothers for years, and you are telling me right now that some of us might have committed a crime of modern society by assuming that all are men on those ironclad Space Marine armors. The complexity of the Warhammer 40,000 universe is one of its greatest strengths. Think about all the different factions, each with its own lore, motivations, and philosophies. There's the Imperium of Man, who are this zealous and often tragic force, the mysterious Eldar with their tragic fate, and the brutish orcs who embody chaos in their own hilarious way. Every faction adds layers to the story. Altering these narratives could not only upset longtime fans, but also strip away the richness that has been built over decades. In my opinion, fans would want to see those nuanced stories, not a watered-down version. And you know what else is crucial? The tone of Warhammer 40,000 is so distinct, with its dark humor and grim irony woven into the fabric of the narrative. It's a delicate balance, and if the series leans too heavily in one direction, like trying to make it lighter or more palatable, it risks losing that unique feel. It's the blend of tragedy and humor that makes it all work so well. If we lose that, we lose what makes Warhammer 40,000 so captivating. Now, with Henry Cavill in the mix, there's definitely a sense of excitement. He's a massive fan of the franchise, which did give me hope that he'll advocate for a faithful adaptation. I mean, he really understands the material, and his portrayal of Geralt in The Witcher shows how much he respects the source material. When it was rumored that a Warhammer live action might be happening, and Henry Cavill starred the show, I can totally see him pushing for a series that stays true to the lore. Having someone like him on board could be a game changer, especially that he's passionate about staying authentic to the original stories. I truly believe that a live action Warhammer 40,000 series could be incredible if it respects the lore that has shaped this universe. The darkness, complexity, and depth of the stories are what make Warhammer 40,000 so special. If we start altering that foundation, it risks turning into something completely different, losing the very elements that have captured our hearts. I really dreamed of a Warhammer 40,000 adaptation that embraces the richness of Warhammer 40,000 while introducing new fans to its epic tales of war, sacrifice, and the enduring spirit of humanity. But after seeing this recent article, it looks like there's no hope in getting a real Warhammer 40,000 series, as people actually are planning to stray away from the lore of the universe. I would rather see the hopes of a live action be dead right now than these idiots murdering the franchise with a live action. I don't see why they need to be different when they can see the recent success of Space Marines 2, who garnered over 2 million players in just 3 days. The developers of the game stayed true to its lore, and the Warhammer fans love it. Maybe the Warhammer universe is too brutal and unforgiving for common eyes to see. Hence, they want to kill a bit of that hostility, but in the process, they'll surely take away the essence of the Warhammer lore, which has been followed by fans for so many years. I'm so over with hoping for a lore-accurate 40,000 Warhammer live action, and will just enjoy playing Space Marine 2. The game has an extensive post-launch roadmap for its co-op operations and PvP Eternal War modes. This seems to mimic the success of their previous co-op shooter, World War Z, which is still receiving updates 5 years post-launch. This suggests that Space Marine 2 could enjoy a similarly long lifespan. The game is a huge success, and it feels good that there are still content coming for this game. In addition, the developers are also hyped with this success and already looking forward for a possible sequel of the game. In a recent interview with IGN, the members in the development team proposed some story concepts that could potentially be developed into DLC or a sequel. Although nothing is finalized yet, the team is optimistic about the long-term future of the series, especially after selling over 2 million copies and achieving more than 200,000 concurrent players at launch. This just shows you how the Warhammer community supports anything that stays to the lore of the universe. If Amazon can't produce something like that, then they better leave the Warhammer universe. So I would also like to hear your thoughts regarding this topic. Let us discuss in the comment section below. Before doing so, we humbly ask for your support by simply liking the video and subscribing to our channel for more Warhammer videos. Thank you so much for watching, and we hope to see you again on the next one.